That's what's going on as far as our verse of the day. Hit the bell. Let's go back to the studio. Good morning, producer extraordinaire Ben Foy. How are you, my friend? Absolutely. Having a big time already here at Champion with Andy Dietrich, who's he was the pick and panel champion last week, so he got himself some banana goodies, so he's all excited about that. So anyway, we've got lots to talk about. Again, the evolving, continuing, not going away saga with Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban. It's pretty interesting what's going on in Tuscaloosa. And Saban finally came out and said, this thing's over. It's a closed case. We have our offensive coordinator. We're getting ready for Clemson. And that's pretty much all he's going to say about it. And I guess that's really all he needs to say about it when you get right down to it. So anyway, that's what's happening there with that. We're live here again at Champion. And let's go back to the studio and get the latest in the weather forecast. Radar, by the way, the radar on the website, the station website's really good. And so it's up to the second, up to the minute. So give us our forecast, big guy. What's happening right now? Yeah. Heat wave. Yeah. Wow. But then I looked forward to the forecast next week. We're talking into the 50s by this time next week. So we're going to be all right. Whatever we got, as we always say, ain't going to last long. It's going to move on out of here. And so, but we are anticipating some colder weather. It looks like we may get that, and that's okay too, because Grandma used to say, got to get to have cold weather in the wintertime, kill the bugs off. So looks like it's a bug killer this weekend, apparently, down to the single digits. So again, our current temperature, what'd you say, 30, 34, is that correct? There you go. There you go. Well, I'm counting on you, so we're going to stick with 34 right now. Of course, real good snowing weather, as you know, getting anywhere between now and down around 20. I think Daddy used to say around between 29 and 33 is optimum snow weather. So anyway, that's what's going on. Thank you, Ben, my friend. We are here live at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. They've had a record month in January, kicking off strong too, but December finished up on the 3rd of January officially, the month of December as far as sales. That's how their months roll here again at Champion Chevrolet. And so we're into the January month, and there's all kinds of great savings. Andy's going to come by here and talk to us in a little while about that. Here's our guest today. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, got the very latest coming out of Knoxville with Kevin Harmon talking Tennessee football. The very latest there about Tennessee football and the offensive coordinator and just things going on, the update on the athletic director. All that's happening again at the bottom of the hour. Then at the top of the hour, our man Carmichael's in the house today after a couple of weeks of being off, and he'll be ready to go with all kinds of pontification. And also he will have the quiz show today. That'll be exciting. Play the quiz show. Yeah, I usually don't do well when Carmichael brings the questions, so we'll have that for you again today, too. Also, I'm going to be joined by Bradley Hoover with the 3B Expo this weekend in Kingsport. The 3Bs are, make sure I get this right, bass, bucks, and beards, which is a hunting and fishing expo at Meadowview this weekend starting tomorrow. He's going to join us, tell us all about that coming up. And also, we're going to be joined by, who am I leaving off here? I'm leaving off somebody. Oh, Andy. Yeah, I better make sure I get Andy in there. Yep. So we're going to have Andy Dietrich on, of course, from Champion Chevrolet. Also, we will have, as we said, Kevin Harmon. And also, we're going to be joined by Carmichael. And then we may have a couple of other surprise guests that we were told not to say in case they don't show. It's going to be good, but working on some surprise guests for the show. here today. At Champion Chevrolet, again, the 2017 Camaros, they've got them in stock. You will save $3,500 off a brand new 2017 Camaro. Also, check this out. You will save, they got some 2017 cargo vans. If you need a cargo van for your business, for your personal use, for whatever reason, you can save $8,000 off a 2017 Express cargo van at Champion Chevrolet. And also the savings, check this out. They got a few, not many, but a few Tahoes, 2016 Tahoes, brand spanking new, the LTZ 4x4s. These are demos. You can save $14,000 off a 2016 Chevrolet Tahoe LTZ 4x4. So there you go. Those are some of the savings going on here at Champion Chevrolet. Who are some of the folks making this place go? They have a wonderful sales staff, including Lloyd Fleener and Brian Wilder and Glenn Taylor and Jay Hayes and the guy I call looks like Sam Elliott, Tom Powers. Every time I see him, I say, hello, Sam. He just grins. He looks to me in a dead ringer to Sam Elliott, but his name is Tom Powers, and those are some of the sales folks. And, of course, Tim Cobenaver and Andy Dietrich make a go here at Champion Chevrolet. Ben, you're going to I have studied on this and ciphered on it. I was confused. I went out and found the answer. Do you remember wearing the Chuck Taylor Converse tennis shoes? Or did you ever have a pair of Converse? Because they're back now. They've come back. They kind of went away for a while, and now it's kind of the rage. All the kids are wearing second, in some case, third generation of kids wearing Chuck Taylor Converse tennis shoes. You know what I'm talking about? Well, it had the white patch on the side of the shoe. Did you wear high tops or low tops? There you go. Well, then you had Chuck Taylor's on the side of it. Had that little white circle emblem patch. Well, that is the Chuck Taylor tennis shoes. So somebody asked me the other day, who was Chuck Taylor and why is his tennis shoe named after him? I thought, you know what? Inquiring minds want to know. So for whatever it's worth, here it is. Chuck Taylor started wearing these shoes back in 1917 when he played basketball in Columbus, Indiana. Taylor went to the sales office of Converse Shoes in Chicago looking for a job. They hired him. Within a year, Taylor made suggestions about how to change the shoe to provide enhanced flexibility and support, also including a patch to protect the ankle. The All-Star logo was then immediately included on the patch, and by 1932, because he came up with the design of the shoe, Chuck Taylor's name was added to the patch, and thus the Chuck Taylor All-Stars became what they are Converse. And I didn't know that, and probably some folks don't give a rip, but I thought it was interesting. Chuck Taylor, again, worked for Converse for nearly 30 years. Thought this was interesting. Received a salary from Converse, but received no commission. No commission for any of the 600 million pairs of Chuck Taylor shoes that have been sold. And Dimes commission, of course, he's deceased. For years, he drove a white Cadillac across the United States with a trunk full of Converse tennis shoes. And so, anyway, kind of interesting. And this was kind of a sad story. Just one day short of his 68th birthday, back in 1969, he died of a heart attack. He was enshrined in the Basketball Hall of Fame earlier in that year, so he did get to see that, but he died of a heart attack. So anyway, if you're interested in going, who is Chuck Taylor and why is he on all these Converse tennis shoes, that's the reason why. But somewhere he made a bad mistake because he didn't set himself up to get any commission on 600 million pairs of Chuck Taylor shoes. So he or his family, his descendants, imagine if you just got a commission of a penny a pair. If you got a penny a pair commission on all the tennis shoes sold by Converse Chuck Taylors at 600 million pairs, you can do the math. They would be a wealthy, wealthy family. But again, he's gone. And for whatever it's worth, and maybe not worth much anything, that's how we got the name, or how we got the Chuck Taylor Converse tennis shoes. I just gave him a free endorsement, but I thought it was interesting how that all came to be. Tom Taylor Sports Show. We are live again at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. We'll take our first break, come right back, and we're going to jump into the National Football League. Got some college basketball. Big upset last night. Number one went down. We'll tell you who did it and how they did it. All that, plus we've got basketball tonight involving our local teams, and we'll tell you all about that as well. Also, as we said, the continuing saga of the Lane Kiffin versus Nick Saban fiasco in Tuscaloosa. Much, I would think, to the delight of the Clemson fan base, including head coach Dabo Swinney. If I'm the coach of Clemson, I'm saying, boys, you just continue to fight over there and keep it stirred up so you'll take the focus off this football game. But Mr. Saban has stepped up and said, No, we're going to focus on this football game, and the Lane Kiffin thing is over. So we've got a national championship on Monday. So interesting. Some more stories coming out of Tuscaloosa about all that. We'll take a look at that as well. Quick break. We'll be right back. We're live at Champion Chevrolet. Coming up next, we'll take a look at the National Football League. And we went and looked overnight. We went and checked the weather forecast for all 4 games. And weather will play a factor, I would think, in at least 3 of the 4 games. We'll tell you all about that coming up next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on AM 790 and also on Facebook Live. You have a list of the commercials we do, don't we? The breaks. Why don't we, starting tomorrow, let's invert them. Or change them out, because I notice every time we go to the first break, it's Bracken, which is okay, but just to spice it up, let's flip them around or do some, reverse the breaks or something that way. Because he said something every first break, you always go to me, so I guess that was his way of saying, change it. So, and I said 10-4, we can do that. It's not a big deal. And I will send you a new Solgar tonight. And I think he shot. Hey, Tim, did you shoot yesterday, the new TV? You shoot the new TV yesterday? Yeah, we'll get new audio for that, too. So, all right, we'll do the National Football League, do a little NFL championship. And so I'll probably come back to you a couple of times with the weather. Here's a guy's already responded. I bought my first pair of Converse All-Stars at Dobbins Taylor for $14. That was expensive back in the early 60s. Hello, Mike Warner. That was... Yes, and I used to wear them up home, and I got them passed down from my brothers. So, which was kind of interesting because one of them had really stinky feet. So, yeah. Oh yeah, and his shoes always came with a little thing of baby powder because you had to put them in there to kill the stench. So, oh yeah, he had we called him rot foot. So, which always went well. So, okay. Hello, Facebook folks. Again, thank you for being with us. Over 1,200 folks viewed this show yesterday on Facebook Live. We can't thank you enough. And so be sure and like us and share us and like us, and you have been. It's a one-stop shop, TomTaylorSports.com. It's all there for you. So just go there and check out, hit the prompts you want. And again, can't thank you enough for the success of the show. 1,200 folks, again, watched this yesterday just on Facebook. I didn't count the radio station listeners, so that's even more. So we really appreciate you being a part of the show wherever you may be around the world on Facebook. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Highway Motor Mile, Johnson City. Mike Warner sends in on Facebook, says, I bought my first pair of Converse All-Stars at Dobbins Taylor, the store, of course, long-time store in downtown Kingsport. Bought them for $14. That was expensive back in the early 60s. You better believe it. So, anyway, that's the story of Chuck Taylor. I thought it was going to be some famous, world-famous player because the guy was a good salesman, and he redesigned the shoes. So, anyway, it is what it is. We say good morning to you. Thank you for being with us. We're live again at Champion on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. And so with that, let's jump in here and go. Let's take a look at the National Football League. We'll start with some changes in Nashville. Even though they had a great year coaching-wise and playing-wise, the Tennessee Titans, Tennessee coach Mike Mularkey changing up his coaching staff. He has fired wide receivers coach Bob Bradkowski and assistant wide receivers coach Jason Tucker. They're gone. Mularkey thanked them both for the work, said he respects them both, but says he's looking for a new assistant to coach wide receivers and help out on offense. So that's what's happening in Nashville. So they moved on and got him going to look for a new wide receivers coach and a new assistant wide receivers coach for the Tennessee Titans. All right, when my boys open up on Saturday, the Raiders open up postseason play, they'll be doing something that no other team in NFL history has ever done. How about that? They're playing a rookie quarterback who's making his first career start. How about that? And so the Raiders will take on the Texans coming up on Saturday. After 24 hours of speculation, Raiders coach Jack Del Rio confirmed Connor Cook will be the team's starting quarterback against the Texans. When Cook takes the field, he'll become the first rookie in NFL history to have his first career start come in the playoffs. You talking about pressure. But no. But you know what? This guy's got a great attitude. I'm going to read his quote. This is what he says. And he said, I'm going to just go out there and have fun. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the best I do. That's all I can do. And so let me read this for you right here. The quote from Connor Cook out of Michigan State. He says, again, I'm embracing the opportunity. I'm going to go out there and have fun, let it all hang out, and turn my tail off for this game, do what I've been doing all season long, just go out there and have fun with the teammates. So there you go. He threw for 150 yards and a touchdown last week against the Broncos, along with an interception. Del Rio, the coach, says, you know what? I'm confident in this rookie quarterback. That's why we got him on the team. That's why we drafted him. He said, it's time to throw him to the fire, and he's got to produce. The last time a rookie beat a team led by a non-rookie in the postseason came in 2009 when Mark Sanchez led the Jets to the AFC title game. Overall, rookie quarterbacks are 7-9 in postseason play since 2004. So, and again, on the flip side, the Texans are starting Brock Osweiler, who was a bust this season, got benched. His replacement, Tom Savage, is out, so they're going to send in Osweiler, big 6'8", 6'7", I guess 6'8" or 6'9" quarterback. So we'll see how he does coming up on Saturday with the Raiders. The Texans at 9-7, champion of the AFC South. The Raiders 12-4, roared to their first playoff appearance since 2002 behind MVP candidate and third-year quarterback Derek Carr. O'Brien. There you go. Osweiler's been a bust. A 4-year, $72 million contract coming over from Denver, backing up Peyton Manning last season. Oh, by the way, Tom Savage, Bill O'Brien, the coach, says he's not only been benched, he's not going to play at all. He's been ruled out again and has elevated Brandon Weeden to backup status. That leaves the responsibility of beating the Raiders solely on Osweiler, who has not been very good this year. So, I'm still going with my boys. I think the Raiders are going to win the ball game. Past that, I don't know how far they'll go, but I think Connor Cook's going to come out and suck it up and have a big ball game coming up on Saturday. By the way, the forecast in Houston on Saturday, sunny, cold, 49 degrees on Saturday. Also, let's go Saturday night in Seattle. It'll be the Lions and the Seahawks. Wild card game at CenturyLink Field. Seahawks have never lost a playoff game in Seattle, ever. The Lions have never won any game there. Detroit's not won a playoff game anywhere in its last 8 tries. So obviously, statistically speaking, it's all in favor of the Seahawks, no question. Again, the forecast in Seattle Saturday night, 33 degrees, snow, sleet, and rain mixing throughout the game with little or no accumulation. That'll make things interesting with a wet and cold pigskin, snow, sleet, and rain in Seattle on Saturday night. Whether or not the Lions can debunk recent trends and come away with the upset will come down to how Matthew Stafford, the quarterback, can throw the ball. He has been hampered by an injured finger on his throwing hand. The injury is one reason Detroit stumbled down the stretch to lose its final 3 games of the regular season. Despite the late season fade, which is rare for the Seahawks during the Pete Carroll era, Seattle has a lot on its side. The Seattle's 6 playoff wins since 2013 are the most in the National Football League. They say it again. Seattle's 6 playoff wins since 2013 are the most in the National Football League. And Seattle owns a 48-13 home record. Wow, since Pete Carroll came around and came on board in 2010. That's pretty good batting average here, Chief. You played, 61 games, won 48 at home. Pretty good batting average, and obviously the table is stacked against the Detroit Lions, but that's why you played on the field and not on paper. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we're live at Champion Chevrolet on this Thursday. We're anticipating some snow, 34, 33 degrees right now. Ben's going to the very latest. I know we're under a winter weather advisory for all of us in different degrees. Basically, it's starting at 7 o'clock tonight and running till about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning for most of us across the region. Again, we'll run down the forecast, including the winter weather advisory, although it really fluctuates depending on what county or where you are listening to the show. But I know here in the Tri-Cities they're talking an inch, maybe a dusting, but then in the higher elevations, obviously, they're anticipating more snow, and we'll let Ben run that down for you again coming up here in a minute. On Sunday, the National Football League at Lambeau Field. That'll be the second game. The first game will be in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field, the Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. The rematch in Sunday's AFC wildcard game will likely be decided by quarterback play. Which quarterback is the question? With the third-seeded Steelers solid with veteran Ben Roethlisberger behind center, Miami leaving the door open for a possible return by Ryan Tannehill. When the sixth-seeded Dolphins will visit Pittsburgh at 1:05 on Sunday. Oh, by the way, the kickoff temperature Sunday in Pittsburgh, 21 degrees with 13-mile-per-hour winds gusting up to 25, so it'll be another balmy day in Pittsburgh on Sunday at Heinz Field. Tannehill sprained his left knee in a game against Arizona. Is healing faster than forecasted. He did back on December the 11th. The journeyman Matt Moore is the likely starter. So, again, you get into this time of year. So there's, You've got Osweiler and Connor Cook in Houston. Now, this guy's a backup guy, the Dolphins, for Miami, Matt Moore. So this is the time of year when you got to have a lot of quarterbacks on your staff or on your roster. And so they got Matt Moore, the likely starter. Dolphins, 10-6, produced a 30-15 regular season victory over the Steelers back earlier in the year. Steelers at 11-5, the Dolphins at 10-6. They'll play that at Heinz Field. Roethlisberger, here's some impressive numbers. Roethlisberger making his 18th career playoff start, while Matt Moore will be making his first. Roethlisberger has 11-6 postseason record with 2 Super Bowl victories. And other factors that the Steelers finished the regular season one of the hottest teams in the National Football League, having won 7 consecutive games. Running back Le'Veon Bell will be in the backfield on Sunday. That is a welcome sight. Fourth-year pro, rushed for 1,268 yards, 617 receiving yards, and only 12 games this season. He has been injured off and on in his career. So, again, that's Game 3 of the playoff system. 21-degree kickoff with 13-mile-per-hour winds on Sunday in Pittsburgh. The Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. It's going to be cold. Lambeau Field in Green Bay on Sunday afternoon. Kickoff, 4:45 kickoff. You have 12-degree temperature with 8-mile-per-hour winds will be the game time temperature and forecast come Sunday at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. In 2007, the New York Giants lost at home to the Green Bay Packers in the regular season, then won at Lambeau Field in the NFC Championship. 2011, the Giants lost at home to the Packers in the regular season, then won at Lambeau for another NFC Championship. It'll be a similar storyline in Sunday's wild card game. The Giants lost to the Packers in the regular season at Lambeau in week number 5, 23-16. We'll try and turn the tables in Green Bay. A playoff rematch on Sunday. Eli Manning, which one's going to show up? Manning has as many playoff wins as Lambeau Field as his counterpart, Aaron Rodgers. Eli Manning 2-0 at Lambeau. Rodgers is 2-2 at Lambeau in the playoffs. In what should be a tremendous matchup of strength versus strength, it'll be the Rodgers-led Packers offense on Sunday against a superb Giants defense. Here's some of the numbers. Behind a late-season scoring surge with 4 consecutive games of over 30 points, the Packers finished the league ranked 4th in scoring, averaging 27 points a game. The Giants, who allowed only 10 points or fewer in 3 of the last 4 games, their defense has really gotten stiffened up. They finished second in the league by only giving up 18 points per game. So it's going to be a train wreck. The high-powered Aaron Rodgers offense against the New York Giants defense. After proclaiming the Packers could run the table and win their final 6 games, Rodgers, red hot, probably one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league, threw 15 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions. Rodgers threw a league-high 40 touchdown passes this season. Now, on the flip side, the Giants' defense, pass defense, superb. 14 interceptions. With 14 interceptions, the Giants were one of only 2 teams to finish with more interceptions and touchdown passes allowed. They had 17 picks as a defense and gave up only 15 passing touchdowns all season. So, which Eli is going to show up on Sunday is the question. Eli's coming. Who sang that song? Remember that one? 3 Dog Night, baby. Eli's coming. You got Eli's coming to Lambeau Field. Which Eli is going to show up will be the one who piled up 15 touchdowns against 2 interceptions and leading the Giants to Super Bowl titles in 07 and 011, or will be the Eli Manning who threw two touchdowns against 6 interceptions in one-and-done playoff seasons of 2005, 2006, and 2008. So there you go. And by the way, again, the kickoff for Lambeau Field on Sunday evening, actually Sunday afternoon late, about 4:45 kickoff time, will be 12 degrees with 8-mile-per-hour winds. In Pittsburgh on Sunday, kickoff at 1:05, 21 degrees with 13-mile-per-hour winds, and wind gusts in Pittsburgh on Sunday at 25 miles per hour. So that obviously will have an effect on the passing game and most assuredly the kicking game in the playoffs on Saturday and Sunday. So again, on Saturday, one more time, let's run them down before we take a break. Get ready for Kevin Harmon. The Raiders in Houston at 4:35 on Saturday. Houston, 49 degrees, sunny and cold. They're calling it cold in Houston at 49 degrees. Really? Come up here and join us on Monday morning when it's down in like 3 degrees. We'll talk about cold. Oakland and Houston on Saturday at 4:35 with the wild card. Detroit at Seattle Saturday night, 39 or 33 rain, snow, and sleet mixture in Seattle. Detroit at 9-6. Seahawks 10-5-1. On Sunday, the Dolphins 6 in Pittsburgh against the Steelers, 11-5. Kickoff time 21 degrees, and then the Giants at 4:40 at Lambeau Field. The Giants 11-5. The Packers at 9-6. Kickoff there 12 degrees with 8-mile-per-hour winds. And so, hello, Rick Shepard. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you very much. You just found us on. That's your NFL matchups: the Giants and the Packers. And who you picking, Ben Voigt? Go first. Oakland and Houston. You're smarter than the average bear, boo-boo. All right. Detroit and Seattle. Who do you like there Saturday night?
I got to go with Seattle.
Taking the Seahawks. Sunday, Dolphins and the Steelers.
Steelers.
All right. And then the Giants and Green Bay.
That wind chill game now is supposed to be about 7 below.
Yep.
I guess I'd have to take the
Packers. All right. Going to be interesting. Remember, the guy ran, what's the guy's name? Ran for 204 yards against the Steelers. Had a heck of a game rushing the football. Did I say it? Ajayi. I've heard of him. A-J-A-Y-I, a J-I, or J. Anyway, he knows who he is. His mama knows who he is. And he ran for over 204 yards in that ball game, first time out. So if they can slam the door on this guy. And then the other guy's got to step up and play big for the Dolphins is boy named Sue, and so we'll see if he can step up. He's been doing some smack talking, so we'll see if he can back it up for the Dolphins in Pittsburgh. It's going to be a great, great weekend of football. Of course, after that, you move into the bye week with everybody. The other teams that are in the bye situation, then they'll get into action next week as we head towards the Super Bowl for 2016 season. We'll take a quick break. We're back. We are live here at Champion Chevrolet. We're going to switch gears from the National Football League to Tennessee football. Our resident expert, Kevin Harmon, is going to join us, talking about Tennessee football. What's the latest on the offensive coordinator? What's the latest on the athletic director? We've already been told that Barnett and Malone are gone from the Tennessee team. They're going to forego their last year of eligibility and go in the NFL draft. So we'll get an update there. The men's basketball team goes to Florida on Saturday to battle the Gators. A tough announcement about the men's basketball team for UT. And then also the Lady Vols play tonight in Nashville at Vanderbilt. So we'll find out all about that with our buddy Kevin Harmon joins us coming up next. We're live here again at Champion Chevrolet here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on AM 790 WETB and also on Facebook Live. Thank you, sir. Facebook Live, folks, again, thank you. Again, we had over 1,250 folks yesterday watch the show. Thank you very much. Can't thank you enough to share us and like us, and thanks to Appalachian Digital. Again, Jeremiah Clark and Michael Smith doing a yeoman's job doing this, putting the show together for me every day from the social media standpoint. So if you need help, these guys can help you, and it won't break your billfold to help you. They're very, very, very economical, very affordable, and so be sure and check them out too at AppalachianDigital.com. But again, we are here, one-stop shop, TomTaylorSports.com. You can go there and click on the radio station, listen to it live anytime, not just when I'm on the show. For no other reason, you want to flip it on here, Charles Stanley at 1 o'clock every day. And also here in the morning, he's doing a great job getting us ready for school and work, and some good music, some good information. Then he has the general store at 9 o'clock. So go there and click on that button and listen to the station live on my website. And then also go there and flip on Facebook Live and take you right to the show and watching live on video and audio here from today from Champion Chevrolet, again in the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City. All right, we'll come back to get ready for Kevin Harmon talking Tennessee football. Let's see, Ben, give me a time countdown, my friend, please. So I'm going to make it 29 here. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we are live at Champion Chevrolet. And again, Mike, go ahead and grab it out right there. Mike Warner asking what is the Tahoe demo price? You're saving $14,000. And so on the demo Tahoes, the 2016 Tahoe LTZ 4x4, Andy will be here in a minute to tell you more about it. But again, off of the sale paper ad, saving $14,000 on a 2016 Tahoe LTZ 4x4 demo. And so, again, we want to say thanks to those folks and thanks to Mike Warner. You can't go wrong with that, folks. Andy, how many demos you got left? Tahoes.
Two.
All right, Mike Warner, you've got 2 left. And so you can save $14,000 on these. There's 2 left on the lot. 2016 LTZ 4x4. And so we've got that coming up. And we'll talk more about that coming up here when Andy gets over in a few minutes. Tiffany's going to join us in a few minutes, selling raffle tickets. She's here, smiling like a fox in a hen house. She got the nicest smile. You got a nice smile too. Good morning. How are you?
Doing great.
How's that for a segue? She's got a nice smile, and you got to look right there. Look at him on camera. He's got a nice smile too.
I couldn't have found it better myself.
There you go. Our buddy Kevin Harmon's with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, 27 before the hour, and we're here talking Tennessee football. Give me the very latest. Barnett's gone. Malone's gone. DeBoard left to go to be the offensive coordinator to Indiana.
Correct.
His choice, Butch's choice. What do you think? What's the skinny? What you're hearing in Knoxville?
Was his choice.
Was he forced out or just?
No, he wasn't forced out. Him
Okay.
and Jones are good friends, and I think he did a good job. But I do believe he wanted to step back. And Indiana's not the pressure cooker that Tennessee is.
No.
Plus his kids are there, and you know how it is with grandkids and kids. I mean, you really do want to see them grow up. And the football profession, the coaching profession, is very time-consuming, and you don't spend a lot of time with your kids. And now he sees, his grandkids growing up, and he wants to be a part of that. And who blames him? I mean, I can't. He's in his 60s, and he wants to. He gets the best of both worlds. He's right next to his kids and his grandkids, and he gets to coach football. So, it's a little bit easier when your grandkids can come to the game with you, and
Sure.
you can share that with them.
Family.
It's a pretty cool thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the older we get, the more I realize family and relationships are far more important than things I thought were as I was in my younger years. So DeBoard's gone. Plug in the hole. Who's going to be the new offensive coordinator? What are you hearing about the new offensive coordinator for the Volunteers?
Funny you should ask that. Well, the first name out there was Coach Helfrich from
Oregon?
He's
Mm-hmm.
out.
He's gone.
Yeah, he was never, I don't think, a serious candidate. But the two you hear most about are from the internal side of Tennessee, which would be Coach Larry Scott, who coaches tight ends, and Coach Zach Azzani, who coaches the wide receivers at Tennessee. They seem to be getting the most noise right now. Of course, the coaches' convention is next week, and names haven't popped up yet, so you really don't know. But with Tennessee also needs a quarterback coach. They lost the graduate assistant, and Nick Sheridan is going to Central Michigan, who coached the quarterbacks, but that was used against Tennessee in recruiting, not having a quarterback coach. But Tennessee has three very capable quarterbacks on their bench, one of which will start next year. So the kicker is, you get an offensive coordinator and you got to get a quarterbacks coach. Do you get do you do co-offensive coordinators to entice somebody to go from one job to another? Who calls the plays? And you need a guy that can develop the quarterbacks that we now have to take that next step to be another Josh Dobbs, who was a phenomenal quarterback at Tennessee. The names I'm hearing for the quarterback coach are Chris Winkie, the quarterback at Florida State, back when Tennessee won the national championship. He was hurt in that game. Or he didn't play, he wasn't hurt in that game. Ken Dorsey, who quarterbacked the Miami Hurricanes,
yeah.
In the 2001 year, considered one of the best college football teams of all time. He's coaching in the NFL right now, I believe. And then you hear James Coley's name, who is also tied to Scott, and they both coached at Miami. Coley is now the wide receivers coach at Georgia, and considered a very good recruiter. And there's a lot of people that would like to see that happen. And he would come, you would make him a co-offensive coordinator with the quarterbacks, give him the quarterbacks coach. Larry Scott would probably call the plays, and there's a lot of concern that Larry Scott's never been a coordinator, but he was the interim coach at Miami, and he took them to be a 4-2 team. But he left when Rick came in.
Talking to Kevin Harmon live at Champion Chevrolet, talking Tennessee football. So the advantage, give me the advantages in your opinion of hiring somebody in-house. There's obviously some big advantages, but for us anyway. Advantages keeping them in-house versus bringing somebody in from outside.
Well, it's about, fit, obviously. And, the guys that have been with you, know the system and are a better fit. You bring some, like Bob Shoop, you consider one of the best coordinators in the country coming in on the defensive side. But he couldn't really bring in a lot of his own coaches because since he already had coaches, the fit wasn't the greatest in the world. We had our tough year in defense. Coach Shoop didn't all of a sudden forget how to coach. It just doesn't happen. So now he is out looking for coaches because there's rumored, we'll have a new defensive backs coach. And, so I think a fit is very important. I don't think Jones wants to make another mistake. Not Shoop wasn't a mistake. I'm firmly in his corner. But it's a big hire. And the board's offensive, run up a lot of points and set some records. Josh Dobbs was 10 yards away from Peyton Manning's total offense record. So, that's a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
So, you keep it. Larry Scott's name definitely has the most smoke and fire around it, and then bringing in a quarterbacks coach and all the ones that I mentioned are very highly regarded, and then bringing you want to make your program a little bit better. You want to enhance it. You don't want to change it. But the same thing on the defensive side of football. You want to have a defensive line coach, maybe an offensive line coach. Linebacker coach and defensive secondary coach. And Terry Fair is the name that's out there, along with George Barlow, who's the DB coach at North Carolina State, that was also a DB coach at Vanderbilt when Shoop was at Vanderbilt. So you've got all that, plus you've got the new strength and conditioning coach. There was a disconnect between strength and conditioning this year. You saw a lot of injuries, and a lot of people point to that. Hey, your strength and conditioning wasn't where it should have been, and guys got hurt. Worst I've ever seen. And now you're bringing in a guy from the LA Rams who's been there 17 years. He was the conditioning coach at Rutgers in the early 90s. That's how he got to know Jones. Was voted the top strength and conditioning coach in the NFL in 2009. He's been with the Rams since 2009. So he comes in. His name is Rock Gullerton. What a better name for a
strength coach. Rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
The Raiders.
So. It's trying to get all the pieces together. You got a lot to do, and plus you're recruiting still, and that the dead period will start or open back up after the 11th until the weekend prior to signing day, and it'll go dead again. But you got to close and put a wrapping bow on this class, and so he's going to be. It's a very busy time of year for the Tennessee coaches.
Donna Tiffany Willis coming up in a few minutes. She is over here getting ready to tell you how you can win a raffle ticket to win a free car to help Niswonger Children's Hospital. She's going to join us coming up in a few minutes. We're talking to Kevin Harmon. It's 20 before the hour. We are live again at Champion Chevrolet. We are under winter weather advisory from 7 o'clock tonight till 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We are calling for the obvious higher elevations, more snow here, I think an inch, maybe a dusting here in the Tri-Cities. So, but there is snow coming and much colder temperatures. And Ben will have our forecast coming up here again here in a few minutes. All right, so Tennessee recruiting heavily right now. It's that time of year and all these coaches upheaval. So we'll keep an eye on the Tennessee football program as we should. Men's basketball, tough loss the other night, had a 13-point lead. Rick Barnes had him on the show yesterday with audio saying, we can't close. We're just young. We got this, got that. Very frustrated in these comments. So they head off to Florida to battle the Gators in Gainesville on Saturday. John Fulkerson announced he's gone for the year, which is a tough blow. Young out of Kingsport. His injury is going to be a season-ending one. So he's a couple of minutes away from being right there on the bubble, being a medical redshirt. So hopefully he can get that next year and get a full year. But Fulkerson's gone. Can't look for him to come back. So Tennessee moves on. They've shown, I've said this since day one, give Rick Barnes a chance, get him some horses in there, and you're going to see this program take off for Tennessee. And you see glimpses here and there. It's almost like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. They're young, but they're coming. I can see an improved basketball team in Knoxville.
Getting Jordan Bowen back was big. And Barnes, forced him to earn his way back on the team, back into getting minutes. they seem to just run a little bit better when he's in there. He's got a nice shot, and he takes it to the goal. You know,
Penetrates.
It's really nice to have a point guard that can take it to the hole. But for me, the real kicker for Tennessee is Grant Williams, number 2, I believe. And he's 6'5" and 230, and plays like he's 6'10". Plays like Charles Barkley. Can handle the basketball, shoots good free throws. Is very, very active on the offensive and defensive boards. You know, he fouled out Arkansas. Arkansas is one of the best players. He had a great game against Arkansas. If Tennessee doesn't, you know, that 7-minute gap between the end of the first half, the last 4 minutes, and the beginning of the second half, the first 3 minutes, you know, Arkansas put together a run Tennessee really couldn't answer. That's youth. But as the season progresses, it's not going to get any easier, but you'll get more experience. It's going to be a tough challenge in Gainesville Saturday at the O-Dome, and that's going to be a challenge. You know, but Texas A&M was a challenge, and so this team will play hard, and they're never really out of it. You know, they had a chance. You know, they'll get the call when he's fouled and he has the slam dunk, and when they wipe it off and they give them Arkansas players. You know, you can't really blame the refs, but that's a tough call. You know, the tough call that went against Tennessee, and I don't know if it cost them the game, but they would have taken the lead right there. So it's, you know, the Vols are fun to watch. You know, I like going down and watching them play because, you know, I saw the Chattanooga game. I thought, oh my goodness, we're going to be awful this year. But, you know, they really made a turnaround, and I really like watching this team play.
They'll scrap you, no question about that. And so, Men's at Florida on Friday, or on Saturday rather, tonight. Lady Vols will take to the highway, take on the Lady Commodores in Vanderbilt. And you see glimpses. They got a big win over Kentucky the other day, so you're starting to see them coming around. And as you said last week, Holly Worley's got to coach them the next year when they've got this blue ribbon class coming in. So you got to kind of hang on. But I'm seeing glimpses of them starting to get it together too.
Well, the thing that worries me about them, they don't have 8 scholarship players. You know, 6 of them are McDonald's All-Americans. You know, they're going to hit a wall, I'm afraid, you know, with just the time and the minutes on the floor, and just the attrition that hits you after you play that full season. It's still not even February. And, you know, they are playing better. Beat Stanford, beat Kentucky, 2 ranked teams, and did it very handily. So good for the Lady Vols. We need the Lady Vols to be strong. I mean, that's a great brand for University of Tennessee.
Kevin Harmon, again, is also a RE/MAX real estate agent. Got any listings you want to tell us about today? Anything that
Funny you should ask that.
There you go. That's good. Tiffany Willis coming up here in just a minute or two. She is waiting in the wings to join us, talk about the big raffle coming up where you can win a brand new 3 different types of vehicles you can win from Champion Chevrolet later on this month for a $50 raffle ticket to help Niswonger Children's Hospital. She's going to join us coming up here in just a few minutes. And we're also going to hear from Bradley Hoover from the Kingsport Convention and Visitors Bureau. Big expo this weekend in Meadowview, the 3B Expo. Bass, bucks, and beards. Beards representing turkeys, so it's a hunting and fishing expo at Meadowview this weekend starting tomorrow, and Bradley's going to join us next hour about that.
Beards represent turkeys?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Beard of a turkey?
Yeah. Well,
Tom Turkey's got that beard?
Never heard of beards turkeys.
We need to get you over to that expo. Obviously not a very avid hunter, so we need to...
Yeah. There's some turkeys on my way home. I see them. And, you know, but
yeah, let's
radio with a few.
There you go.
That's other than that.
There you go. Gotcha. All right. Boom. All right, give me a quick listing. What do you got, big guy? You want to tell us about?
Got two.
All right.
One in Gray, Tennessee. It's 1187 Cliffview Circle. The MLS number is 362501. It's the Ridgeview Meadow subdivision. 4-bed, 3-bath with 2.5 baths. Built in 2005. It's 2-level. 5228 square feet. It's 825. It's a nice section of gray. It's site built 3-story with 3-car attached garage, covered deck, and patio. And it lists right now for $825. And the MLS again is 362501. 1187 Cliffview Circle in Gray, Tennessee. We have another one that is recently been on the market for about 90 days, I believe. 315 West Main Street in Jonesboro, right there on the main drag. MLS is 379058. It's a 4-bed, 2.5 bath, built in 1910. Site built in 1910. It's a 2-story historic home in the middle of Jonesboro. From the city sewer and water, central air, central heating and air, fireplace, ceiling fans, and all the appliances. It's listed at $258,998, which is a good price. You want a historic home, you want in the middle of Jonesboro. That's a cool community, right there on Main Street. So it's give us a call at 943-1567, 423-943-1567. Be glad to show you the house.
There you go.
Work something out.
Come back next week. Let's talk some more Tennessee sports. It's going to get interesting right on down to the recruiting and signing day, which is right around the corner of Tennessee football. And so appreciate you coming by, big guy.
Very well.
Give me some taters. There you go.
Don't get too much stuff.
No, we're not getting too much stuff. We'll be all right. We're here live again at Champion Chevrolet. Our buddy Kevin Harmon, thank you, my friend, for stopping by here. We're going to get her right into the seat and let her talk here in just a second. It is 13 before the hour. We're live again at Champion Chevrolet. By the way, this is our 431st show. We started this bad boy back February a year ago, 2 years ago now. And so our 431st show, and who'd have thunk it? Folks say it was never going to last, and here we are going strong at 431 shows. And Kevin Harmon, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. And again, by the way, countdown. We're doing countdowns. 431st show, and then we are 52 days away from the Daytona 500. So there you go. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet. Hello, Miss Tiffany. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, we'll get her on the headsets here and just let her. She's getting her hair all doodled up there, getting ready. So
I'm not on TV, right? On radio?
That's on Facebook. Yeah, you want to put that on right there? We'll let you put those on. And let's see. How did he do those here? Turn those right like that.
Okay.
There you go. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet. Ben Foyle, while she's getting ready, would you please, sir, give us the very latest on the weather? We do have a winter weather advisory. What's the very latest, my friend?
Well, we got going to be chilly today with the sun out and now, so there's not calling for snow this afternoon like they were earlier. 43 for the high, tomorrow we have 34, so I'm not sure it's going to get 40 or not. 32 for tomorrow, tonight it's going to be about 20, and 22 for tomorrow, 19 for tomorrow.
There you go. So it's not going to last too long, whatever we get. That's okay. And I read the extended forecast. This time next week's going to be in the 50s, mid to upper 50s. So it's all good. A little blip on the screen. And remember, every day we're getting closer to spring. And spring training and 50 days from the Daytona 500. So not that far away. We got sweet Georgia Brown, some college basketball coming up here in just a few minutes. But we'll be joined by this young lady right here. Let's get her on camera, rather. Hello, Miss Tiffany. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Did you have a good Christmas?
I did.
Yep.
How about you?
I had a wonderful Christmas with the little people and had a big time and good time I had ball. And so we've got a big event coming up this month, as a matter of fact. That's how we're going to be raising money, thanks to Champion Chevrolet, to raise money for Niswonger Children's Hospital.
Yes, we are 16 days away. Counting.
Counting down. Countdown's on.
It's January 21st, and we said thank you to Champion. This is their 10th year that they have donated the car for our raffle, and it benefits Niswonger Children's Hospital. Tickets are $50 each, and really trying to push to sell all 3,000 tickets. We're about 1,400 as of today, and we've never sold all 3,000, so that's our goal.
You know, last time you were here, after you got done, I ran into a guy who was listening to the show on the radio at Chick-fil-A, and he said, Champion just gives you the car, there's no hooks, no catches. I said, no, there's no hooks or catches. You get handed the keys to the car, and it's your car.
That's right.
Lock, stock, and barrel, right?
Yep.
So just make sure you understand that there is no hidden glitches or catches. Champion donates a vehicle, and actually there's three choices of vehicles. You got a Cadillac, a Camaro, and a truck, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
2017 Chevrolet Silverado double cab, and so the Chevrolet Camaro and the Cadillac ATS.
Yep. So you have an option of three of those, and then if you don't win the car, there's other prizes involving cash. Everybody likes cash, and so there's some more chances to win cash money. Tell me about that.
Yeah, obviously the grand prize is one of the vehicles, and we do 3 additional drawings: $2,500, $1,500, and $1,000.
Wow.
So 4 winners that night.
4 winners, 1 for the vehicle, and then 3 winning cash.
Yes.
So you got a 1 in 4 chance of winning, and right now at 1,400 tickets. And so, you know, I don't gamble. If you're going to Vegas, a 1 in 4 chance with 1,400 folks, it's pretty good odds you may win something.
I know, it is.
And
Very
so,
true.
tickets are on sale. And again, the tickets, everything, this is what I like when this is what's involved in the community. But when you buy this ticket, just know this money stays right here in our nice one, correct?
Yes, 100%. Every dollar we raise, so it's tied into our Spirit Gala. It January 21st. You have to be present to win. It's actually a fun thing we do at the last part of the event, and we call the winner, try to get them on the phone and let them know that they won. So yeah, 100% of the money goes to Niswonger. Different needs that they have throughout the year, so this is a big event for them that meets their needs.
We have, just this past weekend, had someone unfortunately had to use the services of Niswonger because they were sick, but they got treated blue ribbon, the red carpet, however you want to describe it. They were very, very complimentary of the nurses and the staff and everybody at Niswonger Children's Hospital. So kudos again to those folks. You hope nobody ever has to use it, but if they do, you want to be treated right and again, red carpet treatment, and they got that. So this money we raise for this raffle stays here for the Niswonger Children's Hospital here in the region. And so it's really a win-win. There is no losers. For a $50 ticket, you know, you can win 1 of 3 vehicles or, as you said, 3 other cash prizes. The hospital gets the money. You know, Champion's gotten the publicity off giving away the car. Everybody wins, right?
That's right.
Yeah, everybody wins.
So we're very fortunate to have Niswonger. We do service all the way up to Virginia. We don't call it a Johnson City Hospital. It's the Regions Hospital.
Regional, sure.
So, you know, the children that come from Virginia otherwise might have to go to Knoxville or Memphis. So this is very, very blessed to have this hospital here and great specialists as well that we have trying to recruit more.
7 before the hour, we're live at Champion Chevrolet talking to Tiffany Willis from the Mountain States Foundation. So the obvious, with 16 days left, and the more tickets you buy, obviously, the better chance you are to have to win something. That kind of goes without saying. But where do we buy tickets? How do we, besides here at Champion, where can we get raffle tickets?
Okay, you can go online. It's mshafoundation.org, or you can call our office. It's 423-302-3131. Or like you said, you can come to Champion Chevrolet. They're going to be selling them up to Saturday, January 21st.
Wow. I'm sitting envisioning being at that event and somebody say, and the winner is Tom Taylor. I guess you'd be, I mean, I would just go bonkers.
I know, I've always wanted to be where we draw and it's someone at the event, but it's never happened since I've been with them for 5 years. But I would like to see their reaction, because usually, like I said, we try to call them that night and you don't see on the other end
Right.
what the reaction is. You hear, you know, it's usually a silence like, really, is this a joke? You know, and they kind of forget if they bought a month ago. So it's exciting. We get them on speakerphone so everybody, we have about 400 guests, can hear them that night, the winner.
Wow.
So it's an exciting way to end in the night.
Absolutely. It makes people happy. Of course, you draw the cash prizes there on the spot.
We do.
And, of course, you pull the car. And choice one more time, you have a choice of a Silverado truck.
Chevrolet Camaro, or Cadillac ATS.
There you go. 3 different options if you win. And again, as Tiffany said, they hand you the keys, you drive it off, it's yours. There's no turn it back in, there's no, it is your car.
Nothing, yep. You
No,
have it forever.
it's your baby, lock, stock, and barrel. There you go. One more time, get them here at Champion Play. Phone number is
423-302-3131, or you can visit our website, mshafoundation.org.
There you go. Thank you for coming by here. I know it's cold. You came out here on a cold day to promote this event, and so more tickets absolutely. The more tickets we sell, the better off everybody is, of course. And then after this, give me a sneak preview. What's the next event? I know you're working on something. You're always working on something.
Radiothon. That's end of February, and we do that in the lobby at Niswonger, and again, all the proceeds go to the hospital as well. So another big event. It's a 2-day radiothon that we do in the lobby there.
So you get through this event, take a big deep breath, and boom, move on to radiothon,
That's
right? Yeah, it never stops.
No, it doesn't.
But it's for a great cause.
It is.
Niswonger
Fun.
Children's Hospital, exactly. Thank you. Appreciate you coming by.
Thank you, Tom.
Yep. Sweetheart, nice lady. She does a great job and works very, very hard. We appreciate her very much. It's a Tom Taylor Sports Show. It is 4 before the hour. Ben, if you would, please crank it up. Let's get a little sweet Georgia Brown before we get Andy in here. Let's talk a little college basketball. If you would, please. There it is. And ready to go. And we'll start with college basketball last night. Big upset. Again, it was Keithan Savage scoring 5 of his 13 points during a late run that helped Butler, the 18th-ranked Bulldogs, knock off the number 1 team in the country, Villanova, and also end the nation's longest winning streak at 20 games. Again, a 66-58 victory that sent students streaming out on the court. Why would it not? Butler at home defeating the number 1 team in the country. That loss leaving number 2 Baylor, which beat Iowa State last night by 2, and number 5 Gonzaga is the nation's only unbeaten team. So a big upset last night in college basketball. Butler knocks off the number 1 team, the Villanova Wildcats, again 66-58. Another upset last night, the Pitt Panthers, a 12-point victory over the UVA Cavaliers, 11th-ranked team in the country, losing in Pittsburgh, 88-76 last night. Also, 9th-ranked Louisville, Rick Pitino's ball club at 12-2 took their team to South Bend, Indiana, take on the 23rd-ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish and got upset 77-70. Other games last night, Duke with their new interim coach, Jeff Capel, a 53-point victory last night. They blew out Georgia Tech, won by 53. That was a butt whooping there. Also, number 2, Baylor wins by 2, as we said, over Iowa State. 10th-ranked Creighton, a 13-point winner over St. John's, the Red Storm, as Creighton goes to 13-1 on the season. Also, Oregon, a 21-point victory, the 15th-ranked defeating the Washington Huskies. And then North Carolina State blows out Virginia Tech 26, 104-78 last night in men's top 25 college basketball. The Hokies had come in at number 21 in the country at 12. Tonight, top 25 basketball, number 20 Purdue in Columbus to battle the Ohio State Buckeyes. 4th-ranked UCLA hosting California. 5th-ranked Gonzaga at San Francisco. Utah, number 17 Arizona. St. Mary's hosting St. Mary's Gales hosting BYU. And Stanford will be on the road at number 25 Southern Cal tonight in men's college basketball. The Buccaneers of East Tennessee State, they're in action tonight against the highest scoring team in the country. That would be the Citadel Bulldogs, and they average 100 points a game. And the interesting part about that, they're an 8-8 basketball team, 8-8 and 1-2, but they're the highest scoring team in the country, averaging right at 100 points. Bucks will take them on tonight again at McAllister Fieldhouse in Charleston, South Carolina. The Buccaneers at 11-3, 1-0 in the Southern Conference. Again, coming off T.J. Cromer being named the Southern Conference Player of the Week this past week. And so they'll take on the Bulldogs, who are 8-8 and 1-2 in the Southern Conference. Also, the Lady Vols tonight, they're on the road, as we talked earlier with Kevin. They're on the road in Nashville against the Vanderbilt Lady Commodores. And that is the college basketball. Let's take a look at the NBA real quick. One of my little folders. There's my folder right here. A little NBA. We'll try and get all the basketball at one time. Last night, Steph Curry had 35 points. Golden State wins by 8 over Portland in the NBA. Also last night, LeBron with 31 wasn't enough. The Bulls beat them in Cleveland, 106-94. Also last night, Charlotte wins by 11 over Oklahoma City. The Hawks a 19 over Orlando. Milwaukee 105-104 victory over the Knickerbockers in New York at Madison Square Garden. It was Memphis and L.A. The Clippers winning in L.A. by 9, and also the Heat a 5-point win over Sacramento on the left coast. Tonight in the NBA, the Nets will be in Indiana, the Hornets of Detroit, Toronto hosting Utah, the Hawks will be taking on the Pelicans, the Thunder are in Houston to battle the Rockets, Phoenix at Dallas, the Lakers at Portland, my boys, the San Antonio Spurs. That's what I'm talking about. They're in Denver to battle the Nuggets tonight for Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs. Carmichael joins us next. Andy Dietrich at the bottom of the hour. Andy's got a lot to talk about here at Champion Chevrolet, and we're going to talk to him coming up again at the bottom of the hour as we're going to turn this last half hour over to Mr. Dietrich and say we got lots to talk about. Lane Kiffin, Nick Saban, NFL playoffs, by Raiders. We got lots to talk about with Dietrich. And of course, the savings are unbelievable. As we told you, that Tahoe we were talking about a few minutes ago, the Tahoe's here again at Champion Chevrolet. He has 2 left. 2016 Tahoe LTZ 4x4s. You can save $14,000. Let me say that again. $14,000 off this vehicle. The 2016 Chevrolet Tahoes. There's 2 left in stock. They're demos. LTZ 4x4s. $14,000 you can save. That's a chunk of change. Carmichael joins us next. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on AM 790 and also on Facebook Live. All right, let me set my timer. Hi, Carmichael. How you doing, buddy? Spin it. No, spin it the other way. There you go. Let me set the timer, Benjamin, please.
Okay, that's,
So I need to set it for 59, right? Tell me when. I've got it set. Tell me when to start it. All right. Hopefully it'll work this time. That's what I'm saying. I hope it'll work. I hope it, so. All right. Before I get into Carmichael, as soon as we come out of the break, I want you to come out and get a quick weather. Well, no, we've already done 2 weather. We'll do it again after Carmichael. How's that? Thank you for telling me that. 3 more breaks, and this is my 431st show. We'll talk Kiffin, obviously. Facebook, folks, again, we're juggling Facebook again. TomTaylorSports.com, one-stop shop. Yesterday, over 1,200 folks checked out the show just on Facebook alone. Go to TomTaylorSports.com. From there, you can, as we said, you can go to Facebook Live and hit the button on that prompt and watch the show from my website, and also go to listen to the radio station live too. So it's all right there, TomTaylorSports.com. Share us, please, and like us, and you have been. We thank you for that. Again, 1,250 yesterday. You've only been doing this 3 weeks on Facebook Live. So, and also that doesn't count the radio station. So going pretty good, and we can't thank you enough for doing that. Appreciate you very, very much. So we're going to come right back and talk to my man Carmichael coming up here in just a few minutes here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So, yeah. You okay on the headset? Too loud? It's okay? All right. Stand by. Here we go. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet. Andy will join us at the bottom of the hour here. We're looking forward to hanging out with Dietrich, who, by the way, won the banana pudding last week. He's our pick and panel champion, so I'm sure we're going to hear all about that when he gets in here in a few minutes, gloating a little bit. My man's in the house, David Carmichael from the Johnson City Parks and Rec. And Carmichael, first off, good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great. The only reason I didn't win it was I wasn't here last week. So
That's true. Oh!
I'll throw the gauntlet down, always.
Since causes a loss, if you'd been here, you'd have mopped up, right?
It would have been, yeah, clean sweep.
There you go. Been ugly.
Yes.
Been ugly. So,
you talk about Citadel, the highest scoring team in the country.
and they're 8-8.
And they're 8-8. Well, evidently they're one of the worst defensive teams in the country if they're getting 100. If they're scoring 100 points a game. But who would have ever thought that the Citadel would be the highest scoring? All the years we've been around watching Citadel basketball with ESU, and they're the highest scoring team in the country. The most famous Citadel basketball player ever is Pat Conroy, and he was a writer.
There you go. Yeah, go figure. In fact, they just the other night they played Wofford. It's 104 to 103. They 207 points on the scoreboard. So
in a 40-minute game.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So anyway, the Bucks will try and stop them tonight at McAllister Fieldhouse, 7 o'clock tip-off in Charleston, South Carolina. Speaking of basketball, a good way to segue this thing in. Johnson City Parks and Rec, from which Carmichael is gainfully employed, of course, and does a phenomenal job there at the Parks and Rec. What is the rule of thumb as far as, do you go along with the schools when they're canceled, you're out? What's the rule of thumb?
When Johnson City schools are out, our games are canceled. Not only are our games canceled, but our recreation centers close at 5 o'clock. The Memorial Park Community Center, the Carver Recreation Center. If the schools are out, those centers close, and the Princeton Arts Center, they'll close at 5 o'clock that day.
There you go. So I want to make sure I knew that, and I did, and I appreciate that. And so there you go.
And our adult games also are canceled that night. If say tomorrow the schools go maybe till 11 o'clock, and they send everybody home, we cancel games from youth and adults for that evening.
So tonight everything's on, right?
Everything's on tonight.
Yep. Everything full speed ahead. Just trying to get a clarification. Obviously in wintry weather time here in the mountains of East Tennessee. All right, let's jump into sports. Speaking of basketball, I thought this was pretty cool. I didn't realize they had not done this, but I've been going back reading about this guy, Pistol Pete. Phenomenal player. More than 40 years after he last suited up for the franchise, the Atlanta Hawks, they're going to retire his jersey, the number 44. According to the report, a date for the ceremony has not been finalized. Maravich, who last played with the Hawks during the 73-74 season, averaged 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists a game during his 4 seasons in Atlanta.
was one of the greatest players. If the three-point shot had been, he was born for the three-point shot. And if the three-point shot had happened, it's hard telling what he would have done scoring-wise. And he just had, his problem was he had bad knees. And then that ended his career prematurely.
And then I also read where some of his teammates, when he played particularly in the NBA, not the NFL, the NBA, that a lot of his teammates didn't like him. He was kind of an outcast.
He was, because he was so flamboyant. And also, when you think about it, his dad really, from the day one, he really, you talk about the ultimate daddy ball. Press brought him up to be such a superstar player when he was in high school. Press coached it. He coached him at LSU. Press also had coached at North Carolina State, and then went to LSU and then made the Pistol a star. But he was just a showman on the court. Could shoot, could handle the ball. Was a scoring champion later on when he played with the New Orleans Jazz.
We're Don Carmichael. We're live here again with John City Parks and Rec Guy. We're here live at Champion Chevrolet. Let's get over and get a little closer and see my man on camera. All right, let's take a look at it. What's going on down in Alabama, Tuscaloosa with Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban? What's the very latest? What's going on?
It's time for him to go. And if you read the story, I don't know if you did the Sports Illustrated story, where he was house shopping in Boca Raton last week. It was like, Saban is an insufferable person. And he has assistants stay there just for a few years to get out. I think a lot of it's the demand for perfection that Saban has. But Kiffin's like a little boy.
Yeah.
He really is like a child in a man's body. And to talk about, he had all the issues at Tennessee, the rumors that went on about his off-the-field activities at Tennessee, and then he gets divorced from earlier, I guess it was last year, when he was out in California. His wife's out there. He's living in the students' apartments. Paying $2,400. It's an apartment complex, paying $2,400 a month. And when I read that, I thought $2,400 a month for an apartment in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You can buy a house in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for $2,400. But they said in the student complex, and I thought he's just a kid. And the types of demands he was looking for, I'm talking, this guy he's never grown, Peter Pan, never grown up.
So he says he's going to leave, and he does leave, and he says he left of his own volition. So then he comes back and he's told everybody over the weekend, if I want to stay and coach that game, I'd stay and coach that game. Well, now, as of yesterday, we had the story at Chick-fil-A where we were, that he wanted to come back and be in the press box Monday night while Sarkisian's down on the sideline being the offensive coordinator. Nick Saban came out with one sentence and says, quote, "We're not interested in pursuing that." So his days are done at Alabama, but I would think Dabo Swinney's over going, you boys just keep on stirring the pot over here and have a big distraction of this football team. Is this a distraction or is it business as usual?
I think it'll be business as usual. I think by today, that's a story that's went now 2 days, and I think it ended yesterday, and Saban's ready to go on. And hopefully Sarkisian has learned his lesson, because when he was at Washington, he had a problem. He had a problem with alcohol, drinking with students. He had a problem with alcohol in Southern California. By all reports, he has cleaned up his life, and hopefully for himself, he has done that.
Here's Saban's quote again to Carmichael. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet. Here's his quote: "I don't have any fail-safe. I just feel like I have to make decisions based on what's the best for the players to have the best chance to be successful. We made the decision." Talking about Kiffin. We're not going to talk about it anymore. We're moving forward. We're looking forward, and everybody's going to go do everything they can to support the people that are here now to make it work and win the football game for Alabama. End quote.
Nick is the CEO. He is the dictator. He runs. There's nothing that gets. He runs everything in Alabama. He has become. He's probably the most powerful football coach, college football coach in America the last 15, 20 years.
It stops and starts with him, no question.
It does.
Now, another guy they talked to, Alabama left tackle Cam Robinson. They said, what's it going to be for you guys to have a new offensive coordinator? Here's his quote: "It may be a problem somewhere else, but not here. We just go out and practice, do exactly what we've been doing all year. It's just a new voice. That's it." End quote. That's Cam Robinson, the Alabama left tackle. So that's the Alabama side of things. On the Clemson side, what's going on in the Clemson camp? Are we going to see a different football team this year than we saw last year take on Alabama?
I don't know if Clemson's as good defensively. They're not as good defensively as they have been the last 2 years. But I think they're good offensively. And I think that could be the thing that gives them the win over Alabama. that they can, that they're on a mission. I mean, they're trying to, this is their last. This may be the last chance for Clemson football. This is a great class that's finally leaving with Watson, with Taj Boyd a few years ago, then Watson, and all the offensive and defensive stars they've had over the past 4 or 5 years Dabo's had there. This is the end of an era. And a new era will start next year with Clemson football. And this is a chance, and you've got to take it. And I think they will. I think they'll score just enough points to beat Bama.
So you think you're predicting Clemson to win the ball
I'm
game?
going with Clemson. Alabama has got a great defense, but I keep hearing that they're one of the great all-time teams. I'm like, they're not. They don't have. They're just not. They barely beat LSU.
We're talking to Carmichael. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet. Andy joins at the bottom of the hour with all kinds of specials. If you're looking for a vehicle, you would want to hear his segment. Plus, he's going to do a little sports talking, too, at the bottom of the hour. We're talking to co-owner Andy Dietrich here at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile in Johnson City. Monday, we'll be on the road at Hardee's at West Market Street in Johnson City. Tuesday of next week will be at American Import and Auto Repair. Next Wednesday, Chick-fil-A. Next Thursday, right back here at Champion. And next Friday, we'll be at Food City in Jonesboro. We'll start our new Food City stops for 2017. So next Friday will be our first stop for Food Cities for the new year. We'll be at Food City in the oldest town in Tennessee in Jonesboro. Taking Clemson to beat Alabama. All right. Knoxville. Barnett's gone. Malone's gone, foregoing their eligibility to go into the pros. DeBoer's gone to Indiana. Choice or Butch's choice, or what's your take on the offensive coordinator leaving and who's going to take his place?
I think it was a suggestion that maybe it might be time for him to go, and he probably they didn't want to fire him. They wanted him to look around and see if he could find a job. Maybe it was, and maybe he did think the Indiana. He has ties to Indiana. That he takes the job. It's going to be it's going to be difficult for Butch next year because he's bringing basically in a whole new team, especially on offense, especially at the skill positions. And then to have the pressure, if he had finished, say, 11-3 this year, with the losses being Alabama and Texas A&M, the Vol Nation would have cut him some slack next year. But by losing that game to Vandy, by losing the game to South Carolina, he has no slack. And next year is just not the year to be in that situation.
Is there more coaching upheaval in Knoxville than normal college teams? I mean, we're replacing a strength coach. Let's see. Offensive coordinator. There's a couple of other coaches that are kind of iffy as far as they're going to be coming back. So is this unusual? Is this normal to have a big-time program have a revolving door as far as coaches?
It is. I mean, it is to an extent if you're struggling. This is more like an NFL team that struggles. Even I was noticing, the Jets struggled this year. They completely wiped out all their offensive coaches, had Chan Gailey retire. Baltimore, the same thing. Baltimore was a 8-8, 9-17, but the same kind of thing. They've had quarterbacks coach that changed in midseason, strength coach, a couple other assistant coaches. It happens in, I guess, bigger programs. Even in Alabama, they'll lose a coach or two every year. Somewhere, maybe a position coach then becomes a coordinator somewhere. But the strength coach, that was, and I don't know what, every Tennessee fans were cheering that the board left. It was like they scored points. That wasn't the problem. You couldn't stop the other team from scoring points. That was the problem.
Yeah, I don't think the problem's offense. In fact, Kevin was here earlier that Dobbs came very close to breaking the all-time yardage record set by Peyton Manning. I think he missed it by 100 yards. I can't remember what he told me, but it was very, very close. And so they averaged 30-some points a game.
The problem was they weren't ready to play in a lot of football games this year. And I pinned in on the head coach. And the other problem was they couldn't stop anybody on defense. And that's the defensive coordinator and or the head coach.
Yeah. So you think his hiney's in a sling down in Knoxville, you think?
He would have to go at least 9 almost the same kind of record next year. But you got to think, okay, they open up Georgia Tech next year.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not going to be a favorite in that game. They're not going to be a favorite going on the road to Florida. They're probably not going to be a favorite going on the road to Georgia. They're probably not going to be a favorite playing at home against Alabama. I can't remember. I meant to look at the schedule before I left to see who their other SEC West game is next year. I don't know who it is, but that's at least 4 games next year. They're already off the bat. They're not a favorite.
Now, will they go back and play Texas A&M next year or not?
I don't know if they would play Texas A&M in Knoxville, or they would play.
We'll find out.
They rotated, yeah. So that's at least 4 games. They're right now January 5th. They're the underdog. I would think, going into next year.
We're talking to Carmichael. We'll take a quick break, come right back. We'll switch gears. Going to get his take on some big football games of the National Football League this weekend, including the Raiders in Houston to battle the Texans with a rookie quarterback making NFL history. Andy Dietrich joins at the bottom of the hour. We'll come back with Carmichael with the NFL look and the quiz show. What are the topics today?
Potpourri a little bit.
Ooh, potpourri. All right.
Yeah.
As they say back home, a little potpourri. We'll come right back and we'll talk the NFL playoff picture through the eyes of Carmichael right after this timeout from Champion Chevrolet on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on AM 790 on Facebook Live. Thank you. Can you check and can you pull up the 2017 Tennessee football schedule? Is that possible? Yeah. I'll run them down real quick, and they do open up at Georgia Tech. I knew that.
Yeah, that's the.
And then they got a couple of cream puffs, and then they go to Florida, or at least one
That's
cream
at
puff.
least four. They're going to be the underdog in at least 4 games. And Georgia Tech's looking forward to playing Tennessee because Paul Johnson made the statement even after they won the bowl game. Oh, goody, we end up with another SEC team to open.
Yeah. Ever since he got up and left that press conference at Vanderbilt, he screams, we're all together and we won for the team and all this. And he gets up and leaves.
Yeah.
They want to take the heat and told that reporter, he said, I'll have your name in my back pocket. Nah. No, not a fan.
And they wanted to carry him off the field last week when he won the game. I'm like, you don't carry a guy that just 9-4 coach unless it was his last game
Yeah.
off the field.
Yeah. Oh, well. You get a chance to pull the schedule up, Daddy? Carmichael's found the phone. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll come back and coming out of the break, we will hit you with another weather forecast, see what's going on. Yeah, probably just Google it and put 2017 Tennessee. Well, he's pulling it up here, looks like. We'll run it down before we get into the NFL. Well, I got it. Let's see, where's my NFL?
20, I got it, 2017.
Yeah.
We're pulling it. Since my phone will. Okey-dokey. Yeah. Ooh, LSU at home. So that's at least 5 games.
Just hold on we'll run down that schedule real quick.
9 seconds.
Hey, Tom,
Yes, sir.
read that text I sent you. Read that text I sent you.
I can't read it.
Okay, no more topics.
Gone?
Well, the rebates changed.
Oh, I was going by this ad. Okay.
No, don't go by that ad anymore. Go by that sheet I put over there. That's what he just filmed on TV.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we're live again at Champion Chevrolet in the Bristol Motor Mile in Johnson City. Carmichael's got the 2017 Tennessee football schedule. And we start at Georgia Tech down there.
And Paul Johnson said, I've been winning against the SEC, so he's looking forward to playing Tennessee. Then they come home and play, which that game is on a Monday night, come home on Saturday and play Indiana State. I don't think Larry Bird's going to come out of retirement
No,
to help
probably
the
not.
Sycamores. Then they go to Florida the next week. Then they play everybody's favorite Southeastern Conference punching bag, UMass, at home. I mean, UMass played enough games to qualify to be in the SEC last year. They played everybody. And then they're home with Georgia. Which, yeah, that's right. They go to, and then they've got South Carolina at home, at
Right.
Alabama. So that's right, Florida, Alabama, at Alabama, at Kentucky, Southern Miss, which that's a home game for Tennessee, but Southern Miss has always been a tricky team to play.
Yeah.
At Missouri, which you don't know what Missouri's going to have next year. Then they get LSU at home and then Vandy. The
So-
schedule makers did not, for a young team, did
All right.
not give this team much of a break.
All right, so let's run them down again. Well, tell me the road games. You're at Georgia Tech. You're at Kentucky. You're at Missouri.
You're at Alabama, at Florida.
Good
and that's
Lord.
it. And
That's
so out
enough.
of those, and you're going. Out of those, you're going to definitely be the underdog in 3 of them.
Home
And you may
games?
be and you may be the underdog in Kentucky.
Southern Miss, LSU, Georgia.
Georgia, South Carolina, UMass, Indiana State, and Vandy.
There's some cream puffs in there. Indiana State and
UMass.
Vandy. All right, so you got
But they can't
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the home and 5 on the road. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah. So the road games, Tennessee football, in no particular order: at Georgia Tech, at Kentucky, at Missouri, at Alabama, and at Florida. Home games next year: Southern Miss, again in no particular order. Southern Miss, LSU, Georgia, South Carolina, UMass, Indiana State, and Vanderbilt. So yeah, you got to figure some the
At
LSU.
least 5 games, you're going to be you're the underdog.
Yeah, LSU and underdog at home, no question.
And
I would think.
Yeah, and you know Georgia, Georgia's got a quarterback coming back who played well toward the end of the year, freshman quarterback. So they may be a favorite in that game. You know, South Carolina beat you last year down at their place. Vandy beat you last year down at their place. So
Here you go.
it could be a long year for old Butch down in Knoxville. And especially now you've got a new athletic director coming in the summer. And basically this is Butch's test. If he doesn't pass, if he doesn't go 8-4, 9-3, he's probably looking for another coach.
So here's the question: why is it taking so long to get an athletic director in place? They want this guy from Chattanooga. I mean, why can't they pull the trigger and get him in there? What's the problem?
I don't know if it's having it. They're trying to wait till he comes at the end of the year toward Hearts. You know, you're paying one athletic director. Now you're going to pay another guy to come on board already. You're then basically paying 2 athletic directors. I never understood the whole thing about Hart a year. If he was announcing his retirement, I'm like, okay, we're going to interview, get an AD, and we're going to get you out of here. And they like this guy at Chattanooga. But I've said for years and years, the first guy I would go to Charles Davis of Fox Sports, and I would say, what would it take? He's a ball. He's well spoken. He's very intelligent. I think he's never had the experience of running an athletic department, but neither did Doug Dickey.
We're John DeCarmichael. We're live here at Champion Chevrolet. Andy joins at the bottom of the hour. We're going to be talking about the 2017 Cruzes, the Camaros, the Equinoxes. Got them all on sale. Over 200 Silverados to choose from with all-star crew and double cabs. $10,000 off MSRP. So we'll talk about that with him coming up here in just a few minutes. All right, National Football League. Let's jump in and talk about the playoffs. Game number 1, the one I'm going to talk about first, will be my boys, the Raiders. And let me tell you, when they open up postseason play, they're going to be doing something that no other team in NFL history has ever done. They're going to play a rookie quarterback who's making his first career start, Connor Cook from Michigan State. When he takes the field Saturday, he'll become the first rookie in NFL history to have his first career start come in the playoffs against the Texans, who they beat at Mexico City in the regular season. Osweiler's in there by default for Houston. In fact, O'Brien, the coach, has already benched Savage and said, you're not even going to be number 2. They've elevated, Brandon Weeden. Yeah, Whedon's going to be his backup quarterback.
Yeah, because he's in the concussion protocol, and they're not sure that he would be ready to even do anything, especially with it being a short week. They're hoping if they win that they get him back next week to play. I was thinking Houston would win this game all the last few days, but the more I was thinking about it today, the chance Oakland's got is they've got to be able to run the football, and they've got to be able to play defense. They can play defense. And if they can force a few turnovers, just tell Cook. This was a guy that on a lot of boards last year, NFL boards, they had him as one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, and he slid down. I mean, a lot of, even the Cowboys, before they were even thinking about Dak Prescott, they were thinking about Connor Cook.
Del Rio's even said he's got a better arm as far as strength than Carr. I mean, this guy's got a cannon. He's big, so 6'3", 6'4", and
his whole career, Michigan State, has been maturity on the field. Sometimes his maturity. He's the prototypical NFL quarterback, but his maturity sometimes has been a problem. But he was a first round. A lot of people thought he would go in the first round last year.
Sunny and 49, by the way, on Saturday, and they're saying sunny and cold in Houston at 49. Really? And Monday up here it's going to be in single digits. So
but you got that roof. That's the good thing about playing for Light Stadium. You got the roof there.
Yeah. Also, you got coming up on Saturday in Seattle, 33-degree temperature for kickoff, rain, sleet, snow with no accumulation. But you've got the Seahawks and the Lions. The stats read earlier, The Seahawks have never lost a playoff game in Seattle. The Lions have never won any game there. Detroit's never won a playoff game anywhere in its last 8 tries. So on paper, a big Seahawk win. What do you think?
I think so too. Detroit here, they had a chance to stay at home and let the Packers come back and beat them Sunday night. I think they're eliminated by the Seahawks on Saturday.
Got the quiz show coming up here in a few minutes. Ben, get the quiz show music ready to roll. We're going to do that here in a second or two. We've got the Sunday games in Pittsburgh. Kickoff 105, 21 degrees on Sunday with 13-mile-per-hour winds gusting to 25. Steelers, who lost earlier in the year to Miami, 30-15. Dolphins 10-6, Steelers 11-5. Tannehill may be back as the quarterback for the Dolphins instead of Matt Moore. Steelers, red-hot football team, or the Dolphins?
Saw earlier this morning as I coming down here, Tannehill would not start Sunday. So they are going with Matt Moore. It doesn't matter. Pittsburgh is going to take this by at least 2 touchdowns, and you're at home this weekend.
The running back for the Dolphins, who had the big running game up there against them the first time, JG, is that it?
Jay Ajayi.
Ajayi? Okay, I mispronounced it. Jay Ajayi. 204 yards. The first time they played. Don't think it's going to happen this time.
No, I think they're going to force more into turnovers. But that's the key. That's another one. If the Dolphins are going to beat the Steelers, they've got to run the ball, control the clock, and pressure Big Ben.
Jay Ajayi?
Ajayi.
Ajayi. How do I phonetically write that? Ajayi. All right, Ajayi.
He's originally from England.
There you go. Then the other game you got coming up. Giants and the Packers at Lambeau Field, a 4:45 kickoff on Sunday. Kickoff 12 degrees, game time temperature with 8-mile-per-hour winds. Which Eli is going to show up and
Eli is going to wish he was sitting on the couch with Peyton eating Papa John's and drinking and having a cold beverage.
Really?
Because it's
going to be bad.
It's going to be bad. I think. Aaron Rodgers, that's the hottest team in the NFL right now. I think he is your most valuable player in the league.
Oakland, Seattle. Yeah, the guys had he's the league best 40 touchdowns this year.
And he said, we're going to
run the table. And they did. There you go. And they played some pretty tough teams to do that, too.
Yes.
And they had some must-win situations and some pressure Packers to do it, and they did it. So, you got the Packers, the Steelers on Sunday, Seattle, and the Raiders on Saturdays, all right?
Yes.
All right, there you go. Quiz show time with the OK Crowd. Ben, hit the music. Let's see this potpourri of quiz show questions. Oh, boy. All right, let's see. All right, potpourri, true, false, here we go.
Okay, number 1. Okay, we're getting ready for the national championship game on Monday night. Dabo Swinney coaching Clemson, trying to win the national championship. Danny Ford is the only Clemson coach to win the national championship. True or false, both Dabo and Danny Ford played at Alabama.
True.
That is correct.
Hit the bell, run the dogs. All right. There's one, so I'm not going to embarrass myself, all right?
Okay.
Number 2.
This past Tuesday night, Clemson, North Carolina played. Let's talk about Clemson. Clemson, North Carolina played basketball down at Little John. It was a great game. North Carolina wins in overtime. Clemson has never defeated North Carolina in basketball at Chapel Hill.
Clemson has never won in Chapel Hill against the North Carolina Tar Heels. True or false? I'm going to say Clemson's ever won there. They've had some guys down through the years. I'll say that's true.
That is true. They've never won. North Carolina's 58-0 against Clemson at Chapel Hill.
Wow.
Clemson's won just a few times down at Clemson, but they're 0-58 going to North Carolina to play basketball. That's almost about as safe a bet as you could ever imagine.
Yeah, I'd take that to Vegas all day long. All right, number 3.
Okay, no team, since we've had the college football playoff system the last 3 years, no team has been in all 3 years. There's not been one that's been in all 3 of the playoffs. Playoff system before
right.
Games.
You're talking about college football.
College football.
Okay.
There's not a team that's been in all 3 years.
That's false.
That is false.
Alabama, you got it. Oh, I'm 3 for 3. All right, feeling good. Number 4.
Okay, we know that the Panthers and the Broncos did not make the Super Bowl or not make the playoffs this year. Both of them were in the Super Bowl. True or false? This is the first time that has happened.
The 2 teams the following year in the Super Bowl did not get in the playoffs?
Correct, yes.
I'm going to say that's false.
That is false.
Oh!
The last time it happened was Tampa Bay and the Oakland Raiders.
Oakland Raiders, that's right. That's right. All right, I'm 4 for 4. Tension is mounting.
Okay.
Oh, baby, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
True or false?
No.
This is the first time that the Cowboys have been the #1 seed since their last Super Bowl win.
First time the Cowboys have been the #1 seed since their last Super Bowl win going into the playoffs.
Yes.
Let's see. All right. When did they win I can't remember when they won the Super Bowl. That's going.
1997.
So this is the first time the Cowboys have been the #1 seed going into the playoffs since 1997. True or false? Mr. Copenhaver, can you help me with this, please, sir?
What's the question?
Okay. Cowboys is the first time they've been the #1 ranked or seeded team going into the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl in '97. True or false? Mr. Copenhaver is helping me. I've got a lifeline here. I can go 5 for 5 today. Whew.
I've got to say false on that.
False? All right. Question again one more time. This is the first time the Cowboys have been ranked #1 going into the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl in '97.
Correct.
True or false? Mr. Copenhaver, I'm going to ride his coattails. He says false.
And you should write it because it is false.
Oh, all right.
2007, they were #1 and they lost to the Giants. And the Giants, that was the year the Giants won the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
So now I
The
can-
David Tyree catch.
So now I can say, how'd I do that? I got 5 for 5. That's good.
Yes.
That is great. All right. Yes, luck. That's exactly
Like
right.
Oprah says, everybody's a winner today.
And I say every now and then a hog will find an acorn. So there you go. Carmichael, what's going on in the Johnson City Parks and Rec right now, my
Well, the
friend?
big thing, we are getting ready for spring, as cold as it's going to be the next 3 days. But next week, we're going to be back in the 50s again.
Yep.
But spring soccer registration begins Tuesday, February 16th. We're doing registrations from February 16th until January 16th until February 26th. And registration fees $25 for city residents, $30 for non-city residents. We go by the schools wherever your child goes to school. City schools, we place you with that school team. If you don't go to a city school, we place you with the closest city school where you live. You can either register online at www.myjcparks.com or come to the Winged Deer Athletic Office 8:30 to 5:30 beginning on January 16th. And spring soccer will start practices in March, and we start games April 3rd.
There you go. Website is?
www.myjcparks.com.
Pool.
Yes, that was on Saturdays. I was told it's 11 till 4:45 on Saturdays.
There you go. All right. Great job, my friend. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll see you next week right here. We'll take a break. Right, we've got Andy Dietrich coming in. We went 5 for 5 on the quiz show, and so I've got to come up now with a winner. Who am I going to give the free prize pack to? I'll come up with somebody, and we'll do that because that's awesome. Went 5 for 5, and I got that last one thanks to co-owner Tim Copenhaver. I'm feeling good about myself. Quick break. The man, the myth, the legend, the Banana Pudding King, Andy Dietrich, joins us next right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show at Champion Chevrolet on AM 790 and on Facebook Live. Congratulations, and I didn't even pick somebody to play for because I never thought I'd do it. I'll tell you who I'm going to give it to. I'm going to give it to Jerry Keller. I'm going to get hold of Jerry Keller, and I'm going to win. I've played for Jerry Keller and won, so I'm going to let Jerry Keller be my winner. So,
I'll see you next week.
hey, good job. It's awesome. Thank you.
I'll see you.
Yep. Thank you very much. You're awesome. TomTaylorSports.com. Again, it's the one-stop shop Facebook. Again, and everything there on Facebook. The one-stop shop, TomTaylorSports.com, rather. And again, you can go on Facebook from there and share us and like us and share us. Also, on the radio station, click on 790. It takes you right to the radio station where you can listen to Charles Stanley coming up here in 25 minutes after I'm off the air. So you can listen to the station 24/7 on my website. So I'm a big fan of the station, and so we would encourage you to do that. WETB, some great gospel and bluegrass music, and we appreciate it very much, of course, our producer extraordinaire, Ben Foy. He does a phenomenal job and could not do this without him. He's awesome. So anyway, Andy's coming up here in just a second. Andy Dietrich going to be ready to rock and roll, talk a little champion, and there you have it. So he's going to join us here coming up in just a second. So this is okie dokie. All right. I was going by the one on January 1st. My bad. So All righty. 15. We got 24 till, right? So we got 24 to. Okay. We'll let him gloat a little bit about winning the banana pudding, and so. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again. We're live at Champion Chevrolet again, reminding you a winter weather advisory for all of us from 7 o'clock tonight to 7 o'clock tomorrow. There has been a little bit of a change in the forecast. To the good, Ben said. They're called off the snow here this afternoon. So, this is old school. We get most of our snows after dark anyway. I mean, if we get snow in the daytime, it's usually a humdinger. But typically we get more snow in the during the darkness and after the sun goes down. So there is the banana pudding champion of the Western world right there, ladies and gentlemen. That would be our buddy Andy Dietrich. There you go. Woo! Speaking of, did you see?
Yes, Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. Woo!
67 years old,
deadlifted 400 pounds in the weight room in Charlotte. Ric Flair, Nature Boy, picked up. They showed him on video. You can go to Facebook, and he deadlifted 400 pounds.
You can do that, can't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can go about 403. I can go probably about 398. So I don't want to embarrass the boy, but I can go deadlift 398. Yeah, right. I don't think I can do 50 pounds. So my man's in the house, Andy Dietrich from Champion Chevrolet. You guys just wrapped up finished on the January 3rd, the month of December. A phenomenal way to end the year. Tell me about it.
Yes, it was the biggest new car month we've had in, 3 or 4 years. We did 165 new vehicles for the month of December, and so it was an incredible month. Absolutely incredible.
So you do that, if you break it out in a 30-day increment, 30-day month, or roughly 30, you're talking 4 or 5 new cars a day going out of here. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And did close to 70, right around 70 used cars too. So it was a wild and woolly month. Good deals, and now especially with all those new cars sold, we have tons of trade-ins.
Yeah,
local trade-ins.
And of course, on the lot today, even though it's cold out here and it's windy and blustery, there's foot traffic on the lot today. And what are some of the specials you got going on right now?
Well, Tim just filmed his new TV spot just a few minutes ago, and what he's going to have in that, we have over 450 new Chevrolets in stock right now to choose from. There's over 200 Silverados in stock. And the All-Star Double and Crew Cabs are $10,000 off the MSRP. And it's pretty neat if you look at our Facebook page, is Champion Chevrolet Cadillac. If you look that up on Facebook, we had some drone footage of all the inventory here. And we've got some sitting at an angle from the road down here Bristol Highway, and then one sitting straight over the dealership, so you can sort of get an idea. It's insane how many cars we have here. But if you can just imagine if we've got about 150 used and 450 new sitting here, that's a lot of cars, a lot to choose from. A lot of choices, a lot of selection, and of course they're ready to go to work to roll their sleeves and make it happen for you. Let's take a look at the 2017 Cruises. You got them marked down. Yep, we've got one on sale for $16,500. I've got a 2017 new Chevrolet Camaro marked down to $23,440. A new 2017 Equinox, $21,905. Don't forget, we do have champions.com. You can shop in your underwear at home and your lazy boy with your cup of joe. Listening to Tom Taylor on the radio, you can still go online and get financing on a car from us. You can buy parts, you can schedule service, look at used cars, whatever you normally do. I mean, that's what I normally do when I'm at home. I listen to Tom Taylor on. In your underwear? Don't do it. Underwear. But I will wear a bathrobe. That's way too much information. Woo! My wife did have a request, where they surprise the kids in the school every year and take a little trip with them. And she wants to involve you and your radio program with the surprise. I'm not supposed to say what the surprise is, but have her call me. We'll do it. Yes, she's going to call. Absolutely. And her school, Children Exceeding Expectations, it's a school for kids with cancer and other autoimmune deficiencies and things that maybe can't go to school because their immune systems are so low they'll get sick and they could possibly die. But St. Jude's refers the kids to her school, and she every year, this will be I think the 6th year, she plans a trip, all expenses paid somewhere. And
I would consider an honor to help her in any way, shape, or form.
yeah, so she wants to include you in that.
She does a great job, and it's obviously a wonderful mission field for her to put smiles on these kids' faces. So, yep, have her call me, and I'll help any way I can.
I feel like we probably need to end the radio show early today because you and I need to go buy our milk and bread before it all gets sold out here in a little bit.
Food City's rocking right now.
Oh yeah, I'm a little worried.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I need to run down there.
Yeah.
Maybe can we take the radio show on the go and go down there?
Absolutely.
And see what's going on?
It's live, traveling with Tom and Andy. Going to go get milk and bread at Food City. That would be.
Well, people need a report on how many loaves of bread are left on the shelves. You know, that's
Probably won't be
important.
many.
That's important. I mean, that's more important than sports sometimes.
Now explain that to me, because I don't get this phenomenon, because they are going to get hammered, and it's going to be in the 40s Monday, 50s this time.
Yeah.
It's not like we're in Alaska where it's going to be the frozen tundra for days on end.
I mean, it's not the apocalypse. The zombies aren't attacking. You know, it's.
And they've already called off the snow from what we were supposed to get today.
Yeah,
So,
a dusting to maybe 1 to 3 inches, and you know, I remember going to school in high school. You know, when there's 6 to 8 inches easily on the ground.
even out up in West Virginia, my brother, of course, got kids up there and grandkids in the systems in West Virginia. They don't even start to talk about canceling school in West Virginia. They have about 5 or 6 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go. Put chains on the buses and
Liabilities and
they just go.
Yeah.
And so,
now
anyway,
it's
all different.
yeah.
We are talking to Andy Dietrich. Let's talk a little sports here. The continuing, evolving saga that ended yesterday because Saban says we're not talking about this anymore. We're getting ready for Clemson. And in fact, it says, quote, we're moving forward. We're looking forward, and everybody's going to do everything they can to support the people that are here now to make it work. We're not going to talk about Lane Kiffin anymore. We made a decision. We're moving on. Kiffin's out. He wanted to come back and be in the press box while Sarkisian's down on the sideline being the offensive coordinator.
He made the right move running him out of town and not letting him come back.
Yeah.
He was making $1.2 million a year being offensive coordinator. And the job he took, the previous coach was making $500,000, and then they're paying him almost $1 million, it was like $900 and something, to be a coach in Florida. And I hope they know what they're getting into because he does not have a good track record in the trash he brings with him.
Well, you remember Houston said he was not a mature hire. When they had their opening, they said nope. When Tom Herman left to go to LSU, he said nope, we're not interested. So good luck, but it seems to just do really crazy, almost immature, childish things. So, but he bucked up against the man. The man said adios, Kemosabe. So what does this say? Is this a distraction for Alabama? Is this business as usual? Do you think it's going to affect him, or what do you
I don't
think?
think it's going to affect him now with him not being there. I think if he was there, you know, you'd see the cameras wanting to try to find him, and you know, I think it's the smartest move ever. Just to let's move on, and he needs to move on and concentrate on his new job.
Clemson or Alabama? Who do you think?
I would like to say Clemson. I'm afraid Alabama has such a big machine; it's going to be hard to stop it. But I will pick Clemson. 16,
and he is the champion. How many times you win this year? I brought you candy and Skittles and
cakes and
upside down cakes and
pies.
And I got to get you banana pudding, and I brought you a pseudo, some banana split ice cream. I'll get you some banana pudding, which I'll do. And so you've won at least, what, 4 times, I guess?
Yeah.
You are the king.
I was rubbing it into Tim over there. And, you know, and Tim,
I can't imagine that.
You know, and Tim really follows sports. I mean, loves to go to games all the time, and I like to too, but not as much he does. And I said, I just know my sports, Tim. I said, and he's over there rolling his eyes, and you know, he goes, "No, you're lucky."
I just know my sports. How do they do that? There you go. So Kiffin's gone. You think Alabama still going to struggle against Clemson? You know, the rumor is down the road that Dabo Swinney's going to be the heir to the throne. And that's very much speculation, but that his place may end up being the head coach in Alabama before it's all said and done anyway.
You know, I don't know. How many more years do you think Saban's going to last?
I don't know. It's what, 60, just turned 65, is that right? 64, 65, so.
Probably depends on if they win.
Yeah, I think so. So
keep winning. I mean, I'd say, you know, most people athletes and coaches want to end on a high note. They don't want to end on a low note. And, you know, does he go out on top, or does he think he's got another year if he wins this year? I don't know.
Yeah. Talking to our buddy Andy Dietrich, we're live here at Champion Chevrolet. It is 15 before the hour. Charles Stanley comes up at the top of the hour.
Big shoes to fill,
Big
whoever it is.
Shoes.
Whoever takes that job if he leaves.
Man took his shoe off and faced towards the Facebook camera and said, big shoes to fill. So By the way, yesterday's show when we went on air today had over 1,200 views, so thank you for checking us out on Facebook Live. It didn't even count the radio station crowd, so thank you very much for being with us here. Selling point, I know this is a softball question, but selling point, you have this one Camaro for $23,440, stock number 6898. What is a selling point? What attracts people to, besides the legendary muscle car, what attracts folks to a Camaro now?
Well, it is a sports car, but it is a muscle car, and if you get in it, and you're not compact, you can be a bigger person and not feel crammed in there. And I'm a bigger person, and I drove one the other day, and you have lots of room. You're comfortable, and you can be 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", even. If you don't get it with the sunroof and feel comfortable in it. And a lot of sports cars, you hop in and you feel like you're just all squished and just in a tin can, and not so much. And you've got the raw American horsepower behind it. You've got a V6 in that thing. The V6 over 300 horsepower. That's just a V6. So if you worry about if I buy that, my insurance is going to go up. Probably will if you get a V8, but V6 not so much. But it does have the horsepower.
It'll go, right?
It'll go, and it gets great gas mileage too. So, and it's a fun car to drive. It is definitely fun. You can get it in convertible.
Over 200 Silverados in stock too. Tell me the difference for the folks out there. The difference between an All-Star Crew and a double cab.
The All-Star is a package that it comes standard with the 5.3 liter V8. It comes standard with the All-Star wheel. It comes with a G80 locking rear differential, a few cosmetic tweaks on it, and a few other little. It's a package deal that you save if you buy one of that package. If you order each one of those individual options separately on a Silverado, it would cost you almost $2,000 more. So it's a savings package per se. That it's a bundled, as they always say on American Pickers. Let's bundle it and save some money. It's a bundled package to save money on a truck, and it's what the majority, probably 75% of the Silverado 1500s we sell have the All-Star package on because it is the best deal.
And as he said, with the kind of numbers he produced and they produced in December, you have 65 new ones?
Yep.
So with that, how many of those came with trades? Most of them? All of them?
Probably
80 or 90%?
80% of them did. So, we're slowly but surely running them through the service department, getting them cleaned up and put down here on the lot. So, it's, and most of them too, as soon as a car gets delivered in our system and the computer is marked final, it automatically pops on our website even before our lady takes pictures of it. So you can even go to Champion JC and see immediately after the deal is officially closed, and there will be a trade-in popped in there. In the next 3 to 5 business days, there will be a picture, multiple big 14 pictures of it. But you can always see that as soon as that happens, and you can either chat with us online or call us immediately and say, hey, tell me a little bit more about this vehicle. I can't see pictures, but I see maybe you just traded for it. And we can go out there with our cell phones and take pictures and shoot them over to you instantly.
11 before the hour. I got to take one more break before we get out of here and get ready for Charles Stanley again on the radio station. Picking panel, here we go. He's the reigning champion. We got 4 to pick from this week. This is the playoff game, obviously, and the national championship too. So you are taking, let's see, you took Alabama, Clemson. You are taking Clemson.
Yes.
All right, Andy's taking Clemson. NFL playoffs. The Raiders in Houston. What do you think with Connor Cook from Michigan State, rookie quarterback, first start in the playoffs?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with the Raiders just for you.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about. All right, Detroit at Seattle.
I'm gonna say Seattle.
All right. On Sunday, Pittsburgh, 21-degree temperatures, 13-mile-an-hour winds. Weather should play into this game. Pittsburgh and the boys from Florida, the Miami Dolphins.
I'm gonna say the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh.
Sunday.
Taking the upset, all right? Giants and the Packers at Lambeau. Game time temperature, 12 degrees.
That's how the Packers like to play.
Yeah.
That cold, frozen tundra.
Taking Packers.
Yes, Packers.
And Monday night, you're taking Alabama.
Yes.
All right, so we got a 5-game thing going. And we'll
is this a trip to Hawaii? If I win this next one, is that what
let's see. Well, let me think where I can send you.
you can't really say it on air.
No, it's a family show. I should call her and say, hey, where do we want to send Andy? She would know, wouldn't she?
Yes, she would.
The missus would say, let's send him here. Let's see. What do we want to give away this time around from Food City? What would tickle your fancy? Soda pops. Want some sodas? Oranges, blueberries. Let's see here. I want to do something I haven't done before. I think coleslaw. Maybe
Tied on the.
Pernell sausage. Let me think here. What would I give? What would this man win? Let's see. I'm conceding you're going to win this. I shouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
you are my 4-time champion. So let's see here. I will come up with. Like frozen pizzas, Tombstone pizzas.
That's great.
There we go. Tombstone pizzas. Tombstone
Get
pizzas.
20 of those for the dealership.
3. Yeah, we're feeding the crew. Yep. Let's see. We win them 3 for 10. So if you win, you get 3 Tombstone pizzas for the winner. Let me put that down so I don't forget that. I told you banana pudding. I brought you the Blue Bunny banana
Yes.
split ice cream. I don't. Did you? You didn't leave it up there on the counter. You put it in the freezer,
I was
correct?
supposed to put it in the freezer. Oh, what you do with ice cream?
Oh, Lordy have mercy.
Figured I'd just drink it with a straw here.
There you
a
go.
little bit.
That's probably what you're going to do. All right, give me the hours you're open. You got the winter hours here, and also tell us one more time about that website.
We are open. Sales are open 8:30 to 7 o'clock Monday through Saturday, and service and parts are open 7:30 to 6 Monday through Friday, and 8:30 to 5 on Saturdays. And we're always open at www.championjc.com. You know, schedule your service, order parts, look at cars, get financing on cars, chat with us, call us, email us on there. It's fun, it's easy, you'll like it.
There you
I
go.
promise.
They're very easily accessible. If you want to look for and shop for a car, there's ways to do that. And of course, you start with championjc.com after hours and come over here during the hours. And here's the other thing too: you guys, you're not out there pressuring people. If they want to see a vehicle, you show it to them, and you're not out there doing that pressure sales.
The vultures will not circle you.
At 165 vehicles in the month of December, new, delivered, they don't have to circle you.
I won't throw your trade-in keys up on the building to keep you here. I'm not going. As soon as you pull in a lot, I'm not going to close the gate behind your layout spike strips. We will treat you right, or we wouldn't sell as many vehicles as we do.
That's exactly right. Proof's in the pudding. And we've coming up in February. It'll be our 10th anniversary, right?
February 16th, 2017 will be 10 years we've been in business since we
Wow.
opened the door. And it's still planning. I'm the party coordinator. Everybody calls me that here. That's my side job. I am for hire outside of work too. If anybody needs my party.
Party consultant. There you go.
Party. But we're going to have a party that day to celebrate 10 years in business. Probably going to get it catered. Probably do an afternoon to early evening type deal. Drop in when you can. Previous customers, new customers, vendors, whoever's done radio personalities are all invited.
I'm here. I'm going to broadcast from here.
You're here.
I'm in.
That's a Thursday, isn't it?
Is it? Is it a Thursday?
I guess. I think so.
I don't know. If it is, I'm there. There we go. All right. Things we do here on this
It is
show.
here on Thursday.
There we go. Mark it down. 11 to 1. I'm here. I'll help kind of kick it off.
You'll help and eat a lot of food.
Absolutely. You
Drink
better
and be
believe.
merry.
There you got it. We'll put a hammer on it. You better believe it. So you'll know I've been here. I will kick up some dust. I
I'll
can tell you
have to order
that.
some extra food now if you're going to be here. Jeez.
Namu's coming. The well. All right. I'll see you next week. We're here next week. We'll take a break.
Yes, we'll be here unless we get the blizzard.
Oh, the blizzard. Yeah, it's going to be 50s this time next week.
I mean, I heard there's going to be 24 inches in the morning.
Oh, it's crazy stuff. It's not even. Okay, it's unbelievable. You know, another thing too, and all in the communication, the technology we have in communication, how there's so many misinformation forecasts.
Yeah.
I've heard everything from 2 feet to a dusting, and I'm thinking, guys, it's going to be 40 by Monday. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be 40 by
I'm going
Monday.
straight to Food City right now and do Facebook
I'm-
Live and
I'm a nervous-
show the
The milk.
milk and the loaves of bread and get everybody really riled up and scared.
Tim's already just shaking his head. All right, see you next week.
He wants me to get him some bread milk.
These guys are like the odd couple. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll wrap this thing up live at Champion Chevrolet on AM 790 and Facebook Live. Lordy have mercy. That's good stuff. He's funny. All right. knock it out of here pretty quick, so I need to start throwing this stuff in the bag. Tomorrow I'll just do it from the house. I guess when the school's out, let's say they may cancel school tomorrow. I like when they cancel school and it hasn't even snowed yet. They think it's coming. That's my favorite. It's always been my favorite. Yeah, we think there's a front coming, but there's no snow yet, but we're going to cancel just in case. Like, really? Yeah, I've had it happen in years past. Facebook folks, again, thank you. We are winding this thing down, our 431st show. Back tomorrow from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock right here. We're also going to try and do a 2-minute sports thing tonight here on Facebook Live. Again, go to TomTaylorSports.com. It's a one-stop shop. Everything's there that you need to check us out, and also check out the radio station. Again, some great music and certainly some great teaching on WETB. And I'm a big fan of the station. Listen to it all the time when I'm not on the station. When I'm there in the evenings working, I always have the station on in the background. So it's a really, really good show. And, of course, Ben does a phenomenal job. Ben Foy, our producer on this show, he does the morning show on the station with news and information and sports and weather. So, and good music and, of course, the general store. So you don't want to miss it. Go to TomTaylorSports.com, press the hit the button there for the radio, and it takes you right to the radio station. So good stuff. Tom Taylor Sports Show again, winding this thing down. I want to say thanks to Carmichael, of course, and Kevin Harmon talking Tennessee football. Also, we appreciate coming by and visiting with us, Tiffany Willis from Mountain States Health Alliance. Get those raffle tickets right here at Champion Chevrolet. Again, $50 tickets. You can go online and get them. If you're watching outside the Tri-Cities area where we are, you can still buy your tickets. What you not when you get a chance to win a brand new 2017 Camaro, Cadillac, or Silverado truck for a $50 raffle ticket. And for the more tickets, of course, you purchase, the better chance you have to win. They have 3,000 tickets to sell. They've sold about 1,400 tickets so far. So, again, the odds are even better in your favor to win something. And if you don't win the vehicle from Champion Chevrolet coming up in 16 days on the 21st, then you also have 3 chances to win some pretty good chunks of cash. So you can stop by here and buy the raffle tickets here in the showroom at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile here in Johnson City. You can also go online, as you heard her say, msha.com, or just give them a call at Mountain States and tell them you want to buy a ticket. But, again, if you're out of the area watching, a lot of folks are. Hello to Rick Ranson, by the way, in Pensacola, Florida. And Aaron Ferguson in Huntington, West Virginia, watches every day and listens. We appreciate that. Of course, you can go back and watch and listen to the show as well, because it's on TomTaylorSports.com, and so it's there to go back and watch and enjoy as need be. So if you're out of the market here in the Media Tri-Cities and you want to buy one of these raffle tickets, why would you not? Again, for a 1 in 4 chance, with only 1,400 tickets sold, to win either a brand new vehicle or cold cash. I think there's what'd she say, $1,000 and $1,500, and I think maybe $2,500 are given away. And so that's all available by simply going to msha.com, or again go to championjc.com, the website here for the Champion Chevrolet dealership, and buy yourself tickets. So thanks for Tiffany stopping by, and also Ben Foy back at home front. Thank you as always. Yes, sir. So we're going to step aside and get ready for tomorrow's show. Again, coming up next, Charles Stanley, the In Touch program. We're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. And again, we are under winter weather advisory from 7 o'clock tonight till 7 o'clock tomorrow morning for the entire listening area, with more snow obviously forecast in the higher elevations. And Ben will let you know tomorrow morning what the roads are like, what the schools are like, and what things are like tomorrow right here on WETB on AM 790. Out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. As always, we'll tell you, win or lose, be a good sport. So long, everybody, from Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Motor Mile, Johnson City, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. All right, Facebook folks, thank you again. I go to that one-stop shop, TomTaylorSports.com. We thank you, cannot thank you enough for what you're doing. Be sure and like us and certainly share us. We appreciate that. Back with you a little bit later on this evening. We'll do a little 2-minute sports later on tonight, and then we'll come back tomorrow with a full show from 11 to 1 right here on Facebook Live. Thanks again for giving us a listen, and we'll talk to you soon. So long.